Well, hello again. We're going to be critiquing the informative speeches, and this will be short because we have some problems. Let's start with Clock AA. Let me start with your outline, which has a mixture of type fonts on it, so it's not very well done. And it says where it should be your name, it says student name in all caps, as though you've copied this from something and you were supposed to put in your name. You didn't. It's a strange mixture of things. You also have the indication of a class time, which would indicate by what's on your outline that this is from a class that meets on Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. It's also not the format in which we identify this class. I'm a little concerned about where this may have come from and whether or not you've met the requirements. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let me start with a compliment. You have a very good speaking voice. You need to capitalize on that. You need to use that to speak clearly, to have a flow from one thought to another, and to connect your ideas. So let me go through a couple of things here. First of all, you have two bright lights over each of your shoulders. I've talked about this and talked about it. When you have bright lights in the background, the camera is receiving those lights and it irises down. When it does that, it causes features of your face to be lost. I can't always tell whether you have eye contact because I can't see your eyes. All right, that's one point. It's the wrong shot. Now, I think you may have heard this before, so please say along with me if you have. This shot, right now, the one you're seeing, is the only shot I ever want to see in a speech. Inch or two above the head, bust line. That's it. Got it? It's the only shot I ever want to see. All right. You gesture about three aspects of AIDS, and when you gesture about three aspects of age, of course, the lighting's bad because of what I've already told you, but you do this kind of, it's real quick, and it looks like it's the whole hand. Now, I happen to officiate sports, and I will tell you when you do three, you do it like this, only three fingers showing, all right? You don't do one of these kinds of things or even bend the finger like that because as fast as you did it, it didn't really help your situation. Stand still when you talk. You're moving in and out, up and down, and all of that stuff. Stand still. You should use the outline, whatever you intended to send me, which is not labeled other than what I've just described. So make sure that, you're not reaching to get the 3x5 file cards. Use the outline. You have a really, really strange mixture of thoughts here. You talk about breastfeeding as a way to transmit AIDS, and then you translate that into washing your hands and not sharing a needle. That's a strange juxtaposition of points. Breastfeeding, washing your hands, don't share a needle. All right. You also say don't share a needle with someone you don't know, which leads me to ask, is it okay to share a needle with someone you do know? See how dumb that sounds? All right. Your transitions and your flow was greatly disjointed. You have no sources that I can hear in your speech, and in your outline, you don't have anything listed as sources. I'm sure you're not the world's greatest expert on HIV and AIDS, and therefore you've got to, and in fact the requirements are that you have specific sources and that you identify them in your speech. You need to have three sources. They're required. It's in the instructions. All right, you didn't do that. You're too good to continuously not do a higher quality than what you're doing. It's like you're not even trying. Your outlines are a huge problem. That's lowering your grade. The lighting situation. The speech, you say something about it being a little short. The length of the speech was supposed to be, where is that? Length of the speech was supposed to be 5 to 8 minutes. 5 to 8 minutes for the length of the speech. And I'm checking one other thing here while I'm talking. 5 to 8 minutes, and you ran exactly 3 minutes and 33 seconds. 5 to 8, 3:33. You can't count the time it takes to introduce the audience. It's from the point you start your speech until you complete your speech. So we got a lot of problems here. You also submitted a speaker critique, and that doesn't have any name on it either. Folks, you got to get your name on everything. It's got to be obvious where it came from. All right, next up is Gems. Gems, I sent you a special email. I hear no audio on anything you sent me. And also, I have no outlines, so I've asked you to call me. And then finally, we've got Faye. And Faye, let's see, you have the wrong composition. This shot, remember, here we go again. And you have a very bright light over your shoulder, and also you have a door with a window in it, so you have two sources of bright lights coming toward the camera. You don't want to bounce. You're bouncing a lot when you talk. You're always kind of moving, and it's kind of up and down. It's not, sometimes people sway in and out or move a little back and forth. You're actually kind of bouncing as you talk. You say something about a source of the History Channel. Please read the directions for the speech about how to cite sources. The History Channel does not produce programs per se. They broadcast programs. They may have paid for the program to be produced, but there's still a source within the program. So whoever did the program, whoever the authority in the program was, but the History Channel is not the source. That was the source of the TV broadcast, not the source of the information. Be very, very clear on that. And you don't say something like, according to what the History Channel said, and then kind of conclude a sentence with, and lots of stuff. This is a speech. You don't, it's not like you're talking to your best friend and saying, well, he said this and this and this and this and lots of other stuff. Well, either don't bring up the other stuff or be very specific about what it was. You have one of the more unusual quotes I think I've ever heard in a speech. You state that there is a rumor that an object can be seen from outer space. Why would you quote a rumor in a speech? Why don't you know? And if you don't know, then don't use it in the speech. You're giving a kind of credibility to a rumor when you do that kind of thing. You would never, never cite a rumor without some source saying that at one time they thought this and it was confirmed by X. Or don't say anything at all. We don't discuss rumors in speeches. And then you talk about your topic, but you don't explain what it is. So if I'm going to talk about the 7 greatest elephants of the world, and then I'm going to talk about the modern 7 greatest elephants of the world, are you not acknowledging that there were original and now you're talking about something different? Or are you talking about the same thing and there has been a new kind of approach to people talking about it? I'm really confused. I saw no visual. And also your sources are not quite as outlined in the requirements. You still have that tisk, that sound that sounds like this. Get rid of that quickly. I want to go back for a second to Clock AA in terms of visuals. I would never, never accept the visual where you hold up a cell phone to the camera. For one, it's very hard to see, and for two, if you were in a classroom, the odds of anyone being able to see any detail in the picture, it's almost as though you could just mention a name and say according to and not show the visual at all, except the visual is required. So nice try, but it didn't make it. All right. Those are the critiques for the informative speech. I need to hear from Gems. Please call me so we can kind of get to the, hang on one second. So we can kind of get to the bottom of why there's no audio on your speech. Okay, we'll talk to you next time, and I'll be posting some updates on the grades early this week, and we'll go from there. Okay, see you next time.